In the deep dark space, there was a rule every species followed. A rule whispered in fear. A rule written in no book, but known by all. Never go near Earth. Never disturb the humans. No one knew who made the rule. No one asked. It just obeyed. The galaxy was full of life. Thousands of species, millions of ships, and huge cities floating in space. But near the Sol system where Earth was there was silence. No ships passed. No stations were built. Even maps marked it with a red X. Everyone avoided Earth, except one ship. The Varex, a scout ship from the Varn Empire, was small but fast. It had 5 crew members led by Commander Dren. He was curious, brave, and a little reckless. "Commander," said his pilot, "Yallo, we're entering restricted space. Should I stop?" Dren looked at the map. Sol system blinked in red. He said calmly, "We go in." The crew looked nervous. Yallo's fingers shook. "But sir, the rule." Dren smiled. "It's just an old story. Ghost tales. There's nothing there. Humans died out centuries ago. This is our chance to prove." The ship moved forward as soon as they crossed the border into Sol space. Something strange happened. All their systems flickered. Lights blinked. The engine hummed louder. Then silence. The screens turned black. Then a single word appeared on. Every screen in the Varn language, even though no translation systems were active, observed. Everyone froze. "How did it know our language?" whispered Engineer Vel. Dren didn't answer. I felt a cold chill run through him. But he couldn't. "Show fear. Maybe it's an old beacon," he said, left over from before humans vanished. They waited. No attacks, no movement. Dren gave the order. "Send a probe to Earth. Let's see what's down there." The small drone launched from the ship. It flew straight toward Earth. Minutes passed. The drone entered Earth's atmosphere. Then dashed nothing. It vanished from their sensors. No signal. No data. Just gone. "Send another," Dren said. A second drone went down. Same result. A third gone. Dren's voice was firm now. "Launch the full scan. I want every satellite and heat signature. Something is down there." But before they could act, an alert sounded. One of the drones had returned, but it didn't look the same. Its metal was scorched. But it was floating gently, like someone had sent it back on purpose. It attached itself to the ship's airlock. Dren and 2 crew members moved to inspect it. "Careful," said Vel. "It might be infected or hacked." The drone opened slowly with a soft hiss. Inside was something unexpected. A small cube, glowing faint blue. Not Varn tech, not anything known. Dren picked it up. The cube began to speak. But it wasn't a Varn voice. It was human. "You were warned." Everyone on the ship heard it. "You were warned." It repeated 3 times. Then the cube melted into dust. Panic spread across the crew. What does it mean? How can a dead species speak to us? What have we done? Dren stared out the window, looking at Earth. It looked peaceful. Blue oceans, white clouds, green lands. It's just like in old records. But now it felt like the planet was watching them. Then the stars changed. Jallo gasped. "Commander, the stars there, going dark." One by one, the stars near Earth disappeared from view, not turned off. Something massive was moving between them and the stars. Something big enough to cover light. Something waking. "Up!" The crew started shouting. "We have to leave! It's a trap! Something's out there!" Dren didn't speak. Felt the weight of fear on his chest. He looked at the screens again. The word was still there. Observed. Second word appeared. Judged. He turned to his crew. "We made a mistake." The crew of the Varex did not sleep that cycle. The word judged still burned on every screen. No one could turn it off. No system would respond. The stars outside remained black. Earth was the only light in a sea of darkness. Something is watching us, whispered Jallo, his eyes wide. Dren stood in silence, staring at Earth through the glass. The blue planet looked calm, too calm. Send another drone, he ordered. Vel shook her head. 3 were lost. 1 came back, possessed. We need answers, Dren said. If we return now, they'll say we were cowards. I need proof. Sent another drone. This time, it carried a simple camera. No weapons. No scanner. Just eyes. The drone slipped into Earth's atmosphere. The crew held their breath. 1 minute. 2. The drone passed over green forests, old cities, and wide oceans. But everything was still. No humans, no ships. Just silence. Then, near the edge of a broken city, the drone stopped. The camera picked up movement. A shadow, tall, human-shaped, walking between buildings. Looked up at the sky, directly at the drone. Then the signal cut. No explosion. No warning. Just darkness. The drone vanished. The ship went silent again. Then a soft beep. One of the computers turned on by itself. A message appeared. Return drone received. Message delivered. Yalo stepped back. What message? Who sent it? Vel checked the logs. There was no message sent from us. The computer beeped again. A new file appeared, titled Human Legacy. Eyes only Dren opened it. Inside were images, millions of them. Humans in cities, humans in wars, humans with machines, animals, other species. Then there were other images, ships burning in space, alien worlds reduced to dust, great fleets crushed by one human vessel. One image showed a planet exploding. While a human figure stood on a ship's bridge, eyes glowing blue, Bell gasped. That can't be real. Yalo's voice cracked. They were gods. No, said Dren. They were angry. The file ended with a final message. We chose silence. You chose noise. Now you hear us. Just then, the ship shook. Hard lights flickered. The engines roared without command. The Varex was being pulled not by gravity, but by something else. We're not flying this ship anymore, shouted Yalo. Navigation is locked, cried Vel. Dren barked orders, but nothing worked. Every screen now showed one thing, a red circle forming around Earth. What is it? Someone asked. Dren answered, his voice low. A signal, a zone. Ship was being pulled toward a satellite in orbit above Earth. But this was no ordinary satellite. It was massive, dead quiet. It looked like a tomb. As the ship approached, the satellite opened. Inside was a docking bay. Lights turned on. Should we stop? Vel asked. Dren shook his head. We can't. We're already inside. The Varex landed. The engines shut down by themselves. Silence, suit up, Dren said. We're going in. They stepped inside the satellite. It was huge, hollow, and cold, but the air was breathable. The lights worked. The floors were clean. Human technology. Yeah, but very old. They found signs in old Earth languages. Rooms labeled Archive AI Core Command. Then they entered a hall. In the center stood a glass chamber. Inside, it a single human body, floating in blue light. Not dead. Sleeping Val scanned the body. Perfect condition. Heart is beating. Brain active. Yalo whispered, Is it dreaming? Next to the chamber, a screen turned on. Words appeared. He wakes if Earth is touched. He touched Earth. Suddenly, the walls lit up with images, hundreds of battles. Old wars, Earth defending itself from every species that tried to conquer it. Earth always winning. Vel stared at one screen showing a galactic council ship being sliced in half by a beam of light. This is what they were hiding, she said. The Alliance, the Council. They knew humans were still here. Dren said nothing. His mind was racing. Why didn't they tell us? But then they heard it. Footsteps, not from them, from behind, heavy, slow, getting closer. They turned around, nothing. But they kept coming. Vel screamed. Let's go. Let's leave now. Suddenly, the ship spoke. Through there comes in a human voice. I see you. They ran back to the Varex. The ship's lights were already on, engines ready. No one had touched a button. Dren shouted, "Lift! Off now!" The ship flew up fast, leaving the satellite. As they escaped, the stars slowly began to return, but no one felt safe. On their screens, one final message appeared. This was your warning. The Virex flew through space in silence. The crew said nothing. No one could sleep. No one could think clearly. They had seen something impossible. A human, still alive, sleeping in a secret satellite, and they had woken it. "Commander," said Vel, her voice shaking, "we need to report this." "To who?" Dren asked. The Alliance already knew. "They made the rule. They lied to us." Yallo looked at the screen. "Then what do we do now?" Dren stared out at space. Then he gave the order. "We go to Mars." The ship flew to the red planet. Mars was once the first step in human expansion. Some said humans built cities underground there. Others believed Mars was the launch point for Earth's warships long ago, as the Virex entered orbit. They saw structures buried in the red dust. Silent towers. Giant hangars. Cracked domes. "Still getting energy readings?" said Vel. "Something's alive down there." Dren nodded. "We land." The ship touched down beside a half-buried station. The air outside was thin, but the gravity was fine. They entered the station slowly. The doors were open, not broken, just unlocked. Inside, the halls were dusty but clean. Lights flickered on as they walked. The station welcomed them like it had been waiting. "Hello?" Yallo called out. No answer. They moved deeper inside, passing rooms full of strange machines, data, servers, and sealed chambers. Then they reached a room labeled Defense Log Class X Clearance. The door opened on its own. Inside, a long table with glowing panels. On the walls, holograms of battles, starships, fleets burning. Vel tapped a panel. A voice played, calm. "Human. This is Commander Riley, Mars Outpost 7. If you're hearing. This Earth is still sleeping. That means we haven't been forced to return yet." The voice paused. Then it grew colder. "But if someone is inside this station, it means the galaxy has broken the rule." Dren looked at the others. The recording continued. "Let this be your lesson. We gave you peace. We gave you space. We gave you time. Chew. Gave us fear. Now, we give you memory." Suddenly, the walls lit up with red. A giant map of the galaxy appeared. It showed stars, systems, fleets, then, one by one, entire planets turned dark red. "Look at this," Vel whispered. Each red dot was a system destroyed by humans during the Great Silence War. A war the galaxy never admitted happened. Yallo's hands trembled. "They erased this from history." "No," said Dren. "They buried it." In the next room, they found a glass panel. Underneath it, rows of human weapons, big long-range rifles. Small handheld energy devices, one item in the center, glowing softly. Vel scanned it. "This is a star killer." Dren raised an eyebrow. "A weapon?" "No," she said. "A button," she explained. "If pressed, the weapon would send a command. 2 hidden satellites all across the galaxy. It would destroy stars, turn entire systems dark in minutes." Yallo shook his head. "Why build such a thing?" Dren read the words printed under the glass. "In peace we watched. In war we end." Suddenly, the station lights dimmed. A loud hum echoed through the halls. The base was powering up. "Something's waking," Vel said. They ran back through the halls as lights turned red. Doors opened and closed on their own. Voices, human voices, echoed through the speakers. "You disturbed Earth. You touched what should have stayed buried. You must now decide." When they reached the airlock, Dren looked back. One last screen turned on. A video. A human sitting in a black chair. Eyes glowing with soft blue light. He looked straight at the camera and spoke, "We remember you. Remember all of you, and we remember what you did." The screen cut back on the Virex. The ship began lifting off before anyone touched the controls. "Auto launch activated," Vel said. "We didn't start it." They left Mars. Silence returned, but not for long. One final message appeared on the ship's display. Next stop. Luna Velt Vel frowned. Luna, that's Earth's moon. Yalo's voice cracked. Ship going there? Dren sat down, his voice firm, because they want us to see everything. The ship changed course. Toward the moon. Toward answers. Toward danger. The Varix flew toward. Earth's moon Lunabut, the crew wasn't flying it. The ship moved on its own, smooth, fast, silent, drunned. Staring at the screen, no one spoke. They all knew now something was guiding them. Do you think it's a trap? Yalo asked. Dren shook his head. They wanted us dead. We'd already be gone. Vel checked the systems. No interference. Ship is healthy. But navigation is completely locked. Outside, the gray moon grew closer. They saw something strange on the surface metal doors built into the rock, large enough to fit a battleship. The doors slowly opened. Underneath was a hidden base. Not just a base, a vault. The Vorex descended into the Luna Vault. Lights turned on by themselves. A hangar welcomed the ship. Other old ships were their human designs. Dusty but strong. The Varix landed gently. Then the engine shut off. Vel scanned the air. Breathable. Dren nodded. Let's move. They stepped out onto the cold metal floor. The walls were covered. In human writing, old and powerful, the words were carved deep. Silence is not weakness. We remember every war. This vault holds the final truth. A door slid open ahead. They walked through it. Inside, they found screens, records, and weapons, but more than that, they found history. Vel pressed a console. A hologram appeared, a galaxy filled with dot stars. Systems, fleets. Then came red arrows, pointing at Earth from every direction. Each arrow was a different species, different empire, all attacking. Earth, the hologram played on. Then something shocking happened. One single human fleet left Earth. Just one. It flew straight into the enemy arms and wiped them out. One by one, without mercy, without slowing down. Yalo's mouth opened in shock. That can't be real. Vel pointed to the records. It is. These are logs, time-stamped, signed by commanders. These attacks happened over 800 years ago. Dren read the next file. The galaxy attacked Earth again and again. And every time, they lost. The crew moved deeper into the vault. They found a large chamber with a single table in the center. On the table was a holographic file labeled Echoes of War. They opened it. The room filled with sound, human voices, screams, gunfire, explosions, a war recording. They saw a planet under attack, ships falling from the sky. Cities burning, alien fleets circling above, firing without pause. Then, suddenly, silence. A ripple in the sky. A human. Warship appeared. Just one. It released a pulsar sound wave. All enemy ships, thousands of them, stopped moving. Then they collapsed, crumbling like paper. The file ended. Yalo whispered, "What kind of weapon was that?" Vel's hand shook. "I don't know. It wasn't just technology. It was something more." They kept walking. Then they found a statue. A human warrior, made of silver, tall eyes, glowing faint blue. At its feet was a plaque, Commander Elias Thorne, the one who answered. Dren stared at the statue. "I've heard that name long ago, in training." "Same here," said Vel. "But they told us he was a myth." The lights flickered. A voice echoed in the vault, deep calm, human. "You attacked. We warned. You forgot. We remembered. You feared us, so you lied. You changed history, but history does not change. It waits." The vault shook. The screens changed. Each screen now showed one image, a single human ship launching again. "Where is that ship going?" Yalo asked. Vel checked the signal. Her eyes widened. "It's not going to us. It's going to the galactic core." Dren's face turned pale. the heart of the Alliance. They ran back to the Virex as they entered. Another message appeared. Your leaders knew the truth. They hid it from you. Now, the past returns. The engines powered up. This time, Dren took control. We're leaving, he said. J-Lo asked. Where now? Dren answered, voice cold and clear. We're going to the Alliance, Dave explaining. To do? Vel looked back at the vault as it closed behind them. The humans never left, she said. They were just waiting. As the Varex flew away from Luna, a final signal echoed across deep space. The silence is over. The message from Earth had spread across every screen, on every world, in every fleet command post. This is your one and only warning. The galaxy went silent. But not because of peace. It was fear in the galactic core, where the Alliance Council ruled. Chaos had begun. Ships were pulled from borders. Emergency meetings were called. Entire systems went into lockdown. Inside the council chambers, voices shouted. They destroyed a star. They activated weapons we didn't even know existed. They were supposed to be extinct. High Counselor Tereth stood at the center, pale and shaking. We knew this day might come, he said. That's why we made the rule. Then, why did you let the Varex go near Earth? One alien shouted. We didn't, Tereth replied. They disobeyed. Meanwhile, on the Varex, Dren, Vel, and Yalo watched as Alliance fleets scrambled to respond. Vala spoke first. They're trying to hide the truth again. Yalo added, they're afraid. And when people are afraid, they do stupid things. Dren didn't answer. His eyes were on the screen, tracking something. A ship, not human, Alliance. A massive battle fleet heading toward Earth. They're sending warships, Dren said. Inside the Council fleet, Admiral Rockin gave the order. Full power. All weapons online, no warnings. We disable their systems. We take control. His second officer looked worried. Sir, they said not to enter soul space, Rockin growled. We cannot be ruled by fear. Earth must be silenced before the rest. Of the galaxy bows to them. Fleet moved forward, into forbidden space, back on Earth. In the orbit above the silent blue planet, the defense grid waited. No one manned it. No one needed to. It was automated. The Vorex crew tracked the incoming ships. They just crossed the line, Vel said. They entered soul space. Dren stood. We need to warn them now. Opened a direct channel to the fleet. Alliance fleet. This is Commander Dren of the Virex. Turn around immediately. You are crossing into danger. No reply, Dren repeated. Louder. You don't understand what's waiting for you. Still silence. Then Yalo's screen blinked. Defense protocol. Active. Bell whispered. It's too late. Dove Earth, a single satellite, turned to face the incoming fleet. It released a small signal. One pulse. Then, everything changed. The Alliance fleet stopped moving. Without warning, their engines failed. Weapons locked up. Shields dropped. Then one by one, the ships powered down. Hundreds of warships, helpless in space. Then came the message, not from a person, from Earth system itself. We warned you. Inside the council chambers, reports came flooding in. Entire fleet disabled. No damage, just shut down. No response from Admiral Rakan. Counselor Tereth stood still. The humans haven't attacked, he said. They've only stopped us. A silence fell across the chamber. Then a message arrived. From Earth. From Commander Elias Thorne. The one in the silver statue. The one who was supposed to be a myth. His face appeared. Calm, serious. We are awake. Will not rule. We will not conquer. But we will not be disturbed again. You attacked us. We waited. You lied. We listened. Now we speak once. And only once. The image faded. The council stared at the screen. All across the galaxy, the message played. People, aliens, civilians, soldiers watched in silence. There was no threat. No demands, just truth. And one clear warning. Leave Earth alone, back on the Vorex, Bell said. They didn't destroy the fleet. They just proved they could, Yellow whispered. Even the Warborn never had this kind of power. Dren nodded slowly. They don't want war. They want space, and they've earned it. The Variks turned around, leaving soul space behind. As they left, they passed Earth once more. Still quiet, still watching, but never again sleeping. The Vorax moved through space, slow and silent, behind them, Earth still blue, watching in front of them. The galaxy, shaking, confused, terrified, inside the ship, no one spoke for a long time. Vel finally broke the silence. It's over, right? Dren shook his head slowly. No, it's just beginning. The truth had already spread. Earth's message had reached every system, every species, every ruler. Some still didn't believe it. Others refused to accept it, but no one dared speak against it. Across the galaxy, space traffic changed. Routes were redrawn. Ships avoided soul space by hundreds of light years. What was once ignored was now feared back in the Galactic Council. Chaos continued. Some wanted peace, some wanted war, but most just wanted to survive. Counselor Tereth stood before the others. We must never go near Earth again. A few nodded, a few didn't. Then, a younger council member asked, "What if they come for us?" The room went silent. No one had an answer. On the edge of known space, strange reports came in. Human satellites waking up near old battlefields. Ancient ships floating near peaceful. Worlds not attacking, just watching, and then a new signal. Short, cold, final. This is Earth. We're warned once. There will not be a second warning. Panic followed. Some tried to send fleets to the satellites. The fleets vanished. No debris, no escape pods. No response, just gone, no sound. No violence, only silence. On the Variks, Vel tracked more of Earth's hidden systems. They're everywhere, she said. They planted this network long before they went silent, Yallo asked. Why didn't they use it before? Dren answered. Because they were hoping we'd change.
How?
The crew watched as more red zones appeared on the galactic map, not expanding, not invading, claiming nothing, but warning everything. Weeks passed in that time. No human ships attacked, no messages were sent, no fleets launched, but the silence spoke louder than war. It said one thing: Earth remembers then. One day the Council received a small package, delivered by a drone. Inside was a single item, a cube, glowing blue, just like the one the Variks crew had seen near Earth. The Council placed it on the floor. It opened slowly. A projection appeared. A human figure stood inside, tall, calm, eyes glowing softly. He spoke. You were given one warning. This is not a second. It is a reminder. If you return, we will not answer with silence. We will answer as you taught us, with fire. Then the cube melted, gone, no trace. The Council called it the final message. From that day forward, every ship across the galaxy was marked with one new rule. One line written in every language, every screen, every launch bay, every pilot helmet. Not disturb Earth. Back on the Virax, as they returned to Vern space, Dren sent a final report. Not to the Alliance, not to his empire, but to everyone. The message was simple, spoken in his tired voice. I led a team into forbidden space. I saw Earth. They are not monsters. They are not gods. They are simply awake, and they are watching. So let this be the last mistake we ever make. He ended the recording, and for a moment, everything was quiet. Then Vel asked, Do you think they'll ever leave Earth again? Yallo added. Come back to the stars. Talk to us? Dren looked out into space. I don't think they want the galaxy anymore, he said. They just want the galaxy to stay away. He turned back to his crew. And if we're smart, we will. Far behind them, deep in the shadows of Earth's orbit, a single eye-shaped satellite turned slowly, tracking, listening, waiting, because the galaxy forgot once, but now it never will again. The Virax moved quickly through space, leaving the moon behind. But something had changed. The ship was cold. The lights dimmed on their own. Engines made no sound. It felt like they weren't alone anymore. Vel checked the systems. Everything's working, but I feel something watching us. Yalo was pale. It's like the air is heavier. Commander Dren sat quietly, staring ahead. Ever since they left the Luna Vault, something had followed them. Not a ship. Not a signal. Something inside the ship. It started with dreams. Jallo was the first. He sat up in his bunk, sweating, his eyes wide, heart racing. I saw a city, he told the others. Not alien. Human. Burning. Children crying. Humans fighting other humans. Vel looked at him. That sounds like a memory. But it wasn't mine, Yalo whispered. It felt real, like I lived it. Later that same day, Vel had her own vision. She was standing on a human ship. Soldiers rushed past her. Then she turned and saw a planet explode in the distance. No one spoke about it until Dren had one too. He was standing in a dark chamber. A human voice spoke behind him. You came too close. Dren turned. A tall human in a black uniform stood there. No weapon, just eyes glowing blue. We gave warnings. The galaxy chose to forget. Then the man leaned closer. Now we remember for you. Dren woke up with a gasp. What's happening to us? Vel asked. The humans, Dren said. Not just showing us history. They're putting it inside us. They're trying to talk, Yalo said. But not with words. Dren stood up. They want us to feel what they felt, to understand, and they're not finished. Suddenly the ship lights went out. Everything shut down. No sound, no control, just black then. One small light appeared. On the main screen, a blue circle. It pulsed. Then a voice came, not through speakers. Inside their heads, a calm, deep human voice. You broke the silence. They froze. You saw our dead cities, our broken skies. You forgot who made them that way. We did not sleep because we were weak. We slept because we were tired. The voice paused. And now we wake. Because we are angry. Dren gritted. His teeth. Why are you speaking to us? We didn't attack Earth, the voice replied, still inside their minds. Not you. But your kind, your leaders, your history. Built on lies. Built on our silence. Then the crew saw it. A projection in front of them, Earth, but not from space. From the surface. Humans standing on rubble. Looking up behind them, giant machines, towers, weapons, ships that defied logic, and in the sky a storm of stars. Spinning. With energy, Jayla whispered, Is this real? Vel touched the image. This is Earth now, not empty, dead, waiting. The voice spoke again. We are not gone. We are not kind. We are not patient anymore. Dren stepped forward. Then what do you want? There was silence. Then the voice answered. Justice. The ship powered back on. Everything returned to normal, but no one moved. Then the navigation system lit up again. On its own, a new destination. The message was clear. Go home. Tell them what you saw.
Al looked at Dren.
They're letting us go? No, Dren said. They're sending us back. To warn everyone. Yalo swallowed hard. What happens if no one listens? The lights flickered once more. A final message appeared on the screen. This was your first message. There won't be a second. As the Varex turned around, heading back to Alliance space, each crew member stayed silent. But in their minds, the voice remained, whispering, waiting, watching. The Vorex moved fast, heading away from Earth and back into Alliance space. But the crew knew things would never be the same. They had seen the truth, heard the voice, felt the memories of a species that never forgot, and now Earth was waking up. Vel checked the systems for the 5th time. Everything is working fine, but something's still wrong. Yalo nodded. I feel it too, like we're being followed. Dren didn't respond. He stared at the ship's screen. His fingers tapped slowly on the armrest. He wasn't sure if he was thinking or listening, because Even now, he could hear the voice. Faint whispering. Awakening begins. Suddenly, the ship shook. Not from outside, but from a signal. Vel gasped. A pulse. It's coming from Earth's core. What kind of pulse? Dren asked. A wave, Vel said. But not energy. It's data. It's huge. It's heading out in every direction. Dren leaned forward. Where is it going? Jalo stared at his screen. Everywhere. Every human structure. Every hidden satellite. Every dormant ship. Every old outpost it's calling them. The pulse was activating something. Vel looked shocked. They planted their tech across the galaxy. Centuries ago. And now it's waking up. In the far edges of space, across different sectors of the galaxy, it began. Old, forgotten satellites turned on. Empty stations lit up. Ships buried in asteroid fields powered up their engines. Across hundreds of systems, humans had left seeds. Quiet machines. Silent watchers, now they were online. Inside the Varex, the crew watched as new dots appeared on the galactic map. Thousands, all marked. Human system active. Yalo whispered they were never just hiding. They were preparing. Added, this was a plan. A sleeping machine. Waiting for a signal. Dren stood. His voice was steady. This is the awakening protocol. Suddenly a message came through. Not from Earth. Not from the humans. From the Galactic Alliance. The face of an old Varn official appeared on screen. Counselor Tereth. Varex, he said, you've entered restricted space. Your ship is out of bounds. You are to report for questioning. Dren stared at the message. They know. The counselor continued. Return immediately. Do not speak of what you saw. This is a direct order, Yalo shouted. They're hiding it. They've always known. Vel looked at Dren. What do we do? Dren didn't hesitate. We send the truth. He tapped the console. Every recording, every file from the Luna Vault. The voices, the history, the warning. He sent it across Alliance space to every system. Every ship, every planet, the truth was out. Seconds later, the message feed from the Alliance cut off. Static. Then silence. Then fear. Across the galaxy, panic began. Stations went dark. Fleets rushed to borders. Civilian ships fled outer worlds. One by one, ancient human weapons appeared, ships no one had seen in centuries. Fully powered, moving fast, not attacking, not speaking, just watching. Back on the Varex, Vel's console lit up again. One of the old ships is moving, she said, heading to the core worlds. Yalo asked, do we follow it?
Oh.
No, Dren said. We follow orders. Yalo frowned. From who? Dren's eyes were calm. From Earth. Just then, a final pulse hit the Varex. Not from outside, from inside. The human message returned, louder now, stronger. You broke the silence. Now silence breaks the galaxy. Outside space was no longer dark. All around them, stars flickered. And then, one star vanished. Not behind something, it collapsed. Vel screamed, they just destroyed a star. Yalo cried, how? Why? Dren's voice was cold. They warned us. The screens glowed red. One word blinked again and again. Deterrent. Active, Vel whispered. They're not attacking us. They're scaring us. Showing us what happens if we ignore them again. Yalo sat down. So what happens now? Dren looked at the galaxy map. The red zones were spreading. Earth wasn't taking territory. It was drawing a line. A message appeared on all major frequencies. No ships shall enter soul space again. We do not want war. We want distance. This is your one and only warning. The crew of the Varex watched as the stars settled. No more destruction, just silence. But now it was a different silence. Not sleeping, not weak. A silence full of power.